A new revival of David Mamet's Glengarry Glen Ross, now open on Broadway, and the cast is lights out. Kieran Culkin, Bob Odenkirk, Bill Burr, and more. Here's Beth Stevens with another edition of Building Broadway.
Well, thank you all for joining me here at the Palace Theater. It's very exciting to see Glengarry Glen Ross back on Broadway. Tell me what your history is with this show.
Well, I'm so old that I saw the original production, which was in London in 1983, and I knew I was in the presence of something really special and extraordinary, but I was 19 years old and I didn't really understand it or follow it. I just kind of liked it. At that age, I wasn't really interested in men at work. I was doing my best to avoid ever having to work. So the themes of the play didn't particularly intrigue me, but the writing fascinated me.
I saw the 20 years ago production. I missed the one in the middle, and sort of similar. Like, I was 22 then, and I wasn't super interested in men at work, but it's weird how now it sort of feels like it relates to lots of people, this play, in a way that maybe it didn't.
I just remember the impact of just the language and the cadence of it all. And I think there's like a tenacity and an urgency of how things are happening on stage. People talk about the Mametian language, and it's how do you capture that? And it is a very special language.
When people think of this play and the design of it, it's deceptively simple because the first act is in a Chinese restaurant and the second act is at the real estate office. So tell me about what is actually complex about it.
What's interesting about the production is, and something that I'm always intrigued about, is just the compression and the expansion. Like the sort of intimacy of the first act and the sort of sequence of those duologues and how we're just starting to establish character within that. And so I like the idea of the darkness of that space, and then to open up that space into the real estate office. It's sort of in a early 20th century, maybe late 19th century building that then has a renovation going on. Plumbing was installed later on. But these divided offices are put in with wood paneling from the 70s to then bring us up to date in 1983.
Yeah, it's not like a glamorous office.
Not glamorous at all. In fact, there's a lot,
I think that was very much part of our thinking, was that the Chinese restaurant is where they do their business, these characters. It's where they can have intimate private meetings, either with clients or with each other. It's where they can share secrets. We always wanted the Chinese restaurant to be more glamorous than the office, which is really a rough space. You feel maybe they've been here between 5 and 10 years and it's cheap rent and it's not nice at all. And so I think our Chinese restaurant is probably the most glamorous one that's ever been seen in Glengarry, but that was intentional, is to have this very seductive space and then transform into this cold, hard, very male space in the second act.
You have assembled a very starry cast, and I'm wondering how you worked with them to keep it an ensemble and also work on the Mametian language, as Scott said.
I treat the stars like actors, which is what they are. And that was just the rules of engagement from day one. We went through the play line by line. What's he saying here? Why doesn't he complete that sentence? Why? So we crawled through it. They kind of knew what they were dealing with when they came into the room. And they'd all done quite a lot of preparation. I think Bill Burr knew all his lines pretty much before we started. It wasn't easy to rehearse this play. It's a difficult play to direct. But the actors were very willing and very engrossed from day one. I mean, it really helps when you've got people who really want to do it.
You know, this play obviously has a sales contest at the center of it, and there are rankings among the salesmen. And I'm wondering, Scott, how you subtly showed their power in their costumes.
Roma's, for me, obviously the most stylish Kieran's character, and he's in this sort of fitted, like, blue silk suit that just kind of worked really well on him. And also for me, it's a tie game. It's all about the ties. And that for me is the most fun, and also finding those, and the one specifically for him, the one for Bob, like kind of all around the room. That's how I sort of rank them.
Jen, who are you to work with men?
I know, who am I? Oh my God, I feel so lucky. I was like, these are my heroes.
There's
right
a lot
here
of
between
masculinity
them.
happening in this play.
Yeah.
especially. So tell me about being a woman among them.
I relate, like I didn't expect to relate so much to the play as I do as a worker, you know, like as a worker in the industry. Like, I'm like, I get it. Like, I think Bill Burr said, like, anyone can relate. Why it's sort of become much funnier, I think, is because so many people relate to the struggle of being pitted against each other in all industries, not just in sales. I weirdly have loved this expression of the workers' fight, which I think even artists relate to. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
it does play, I think, funnier with the audience than a number of other productions, which is not, in my view, a lessening of its impact. It's just time has made these men funnier because they're dinosaurs, but they're dinosaurs being played by quite liberal men. And so quite often I've had to say, no, behave worse. You're in the 80s and you are unreconstructed male. And that's actually been the most difficult thing for them to absorb, is being brutal with each other.